What is going on, guys? Little Dog here. That's right, I'm back, and I'm bringing you the 2017 RuneScape 3 guide to the G-nome project, which is the Christmas event for this year. Now, this is a lengthy guide, and it is done at like a 1-to-1 speed. However, I have sped some parts up that are really not important for you to see. You're going to see them on your own. You don't need to see them twice in this guide. So I've sped them up a bit, and I've left some tags through the video so you know when to skip to, so you can just skip to there and pause the video once you get caught up. With that being said, if you could leave a like on this video, maybe even subscribe and leave a comment, I'd really appreciate it. So let's get into it. As for what you're going to need to be able to complete this holiday event, you're going to need 1 red berry pie, 100 pale energy, 10 pure or rune essence, one or the other. They'll both work. And you're also going to need 12 raw lobster. Now, you don't need to have all these in your inventory at one time. You can, but you don't, because you're going to be at the Grand Exchange a majority of the time anyway. So there's a bank right there, and you can just withdraw them. And I tell you when you need them, and so does the holiday event. So really, you can just have an empty inventory and get what you need when you need it. To start the event, you're going to want to go to the Grand Exchange and speak to the Queen of Snow. She's located in the red square there, but she's actually right on the holiday event little icon. The majority of the event takes place in the red square, so I highlighted the entire thing because that's where you're going to spend most of your time. So as I said, to begin, you're going to want to speak to the Queen of Snow, who's going to be right on that little holiday icon, and she's going to tell you that she cannot find Santa, which could be an issue as Christmas is coming up, and she thinks she might know where he's at. And the 3 people that you have to talk to definitely know where he's at. So you just click through the dialogue with the Queen of Snow, because you don't really need to know that, because this is a guide, and I'm just going to tell you what you need to do to get through and get your little snow ward and your little reindeer pet. So just click through the dialogue. She's going to tell you to speak to 3 people after you accept the quest. So this will pop up. Click Accept Quest, and she'll tell you to speak to those 3 people. So the first person you're going to want to speak to is Orla Fairweather. She's just northeast of the Queen. Just talk to her and click through the dialogue until you get a little pop-up that says 1 out of 3 information gathered. Once you get that little pop-up, you're going to want to speak to Doc, who is just north of the Queen. Just click through his dialogue as well. He'll give you a little rundown. And then you're going to want to speak to Aubrey, who is just to the west of Doc and the northwest of the Queen, until you have all 3 information gathered. Now, this is the point where I hopped worlds because I realized the amount of people here was a little ridiculous. It can make it pretty hard to find these 3 guys when I'm trying to show you what's up. So I hopped worlds here. That's what the little jump cut's about. And then you're going to want to talk to the Queen of Snow once more. Click to the dialogue that she gives you, and she's going to tell you where she thinks Santa is from all your information, and that is at Thurgo. He is the Iron-Candle dwarf located just south of Port Sarum. And then right at the end of the dialogue, she tells you to bring a red berry pie. So go to the bank and withdraw your red berry pie before you home teleport to Port Sarum. If you have a faster way to get there, you can go ahead and use that. But just for the sake of ease, essentially, I home teleported because I know everybody has that or can easily obtain that. So you can see Thurgo is located in the little peninsula just to the south of Port Sarum. If you've never been there before, you're going to need to know where he's at because he's in a lot of quests. And from the lodestone, like I said, you're just going to go south. He's going to be inside his house or walking around outside his house, so you're just going to speak to him and choose the first dialogue option when the chat begins to talk about Santa. Now you can just click through the dialogue here as fast as you want. It doesn't really matter. It's going to get the same outcome. He's going to take your red berry pie and tell you that he sent Santa to the Queen Black Dragon's lair because that's how a royal crossbow works. You power up a royal crossbow with the Queen Black Dragon's breath. So you're going to want to go to the White Knight camp. This is just northwest of the lodestone. You can just walk there. It's about the same amount of time, especially if you have loading screens on. And don't worry, you don't actually have to fight the Queen Black Dragon. It's just going to be a little cutscene. So you're going to want to go into the cave entrance here in the White Knight camp, and you're going to get taken into a cutscene. Now you might think your screen is frozen here because you can't move your camera around, but it's not. You just have to click on Rudolph's ashes, which are just right by the sleigh when you're given the opportunity to move. So you can see that there's ashes right there with the damaged sleigh. Click on those, and that's going to trigger the Queen Black Dragon to wake up and eat you. This quest is all over the place. Even got the Santa hat on. Priceless. But so you're gonna get taken into the stomach of the Queen Black Dragon, and Santa's gonna talk to you. You can see he's in one of those little pods. Your character attacks the little pod, and you and Santa escape. Sorry if my voice sounds a little weird. I'm sick, so just click through the dialogue with Santa once you're out. He's gonna ask you to withdraw or to like pick up Rudolph's ashes from the floor, and then you'll all escape back to the Grand Exchange. Once you're back at the Grand Exchange, you're gonna want to talk to Santa. Click through the dialogue. And this is where the crappy part of the quest begins. So first you're going to want to speak to Doc just to the north and learn about his reanimation suggestion essentially for the gnome. So click through the dialogue and he's going to tell you that you can use his little machine here just to the north to possibly reanimate the gnome. Or animate, not reanimate. Just animate for the first time. So what he tells you to do is get 100 pale energy. So you're going to want to go to the bank, withdraw your 100 pale energy, and take that back to Doc. And click back through the dialogue, and he's going to tell you to use that little machine to possibly reanimate, but you're going to overload it or something. So essentially, it's a time sink that it didn't have anything to do for you, so you had to do this. So you're going to tinker with the power generator until it reaches 0%. It'll pop up over your head what percentage it's at. Well, it seems like this is pretty quick. This doesn't take very long. The next part is awful, and this goes along for some other ones. So once you get it to 0%, Doc's going to talk to you and tell you need to tinker with it again until the machine begins to smoke. And that's all you have to do, and this takes probably a solid 2 minutes of just AFK, which is so engaging. So yeah, like I said, just tinker with it till it begins to smoke. It'll pop up over your head, and this does take a while. So I have sped this up quite a bit. You can just pause the video essentially here until you're done and then play. Alright, and then once you finally wasted enough time, your membership, you're not getting your money's worth. Once it begins to smoke, press the control panel, which is just to the west. Press it, and you're going to get a dialogue from Doc telling you you did great, kid. And he's going to suggest that you try it out first before you put the robotic gnome in there, I guess, which is kind of funny. They tried. So you go in, you get a little cutscene here, which is just, there's so many cutscenes in this event. It's crazy. So, you know, stuff happens while you're in there. You come out, you can see your skeleton. And then you say, let's try the gnome. So you're going to get the option to put the gnome in there. Choose yes. And you get another cutscene, which is exactly the same thing, except this time you're not in. The gnome is. I know I said at the beginning that I'd put skip things here, but these are only like 15 seconds, so when there's really long parts where all you're doing is clicking through dialogue, really, like there's one at the end, I put the skip there for that. Now these ones are too short and really didn't warrant it. But once the gnome comes out, nothing happens, and you just got to waste more time with Aubrey. So speak to Aubrey, and he's going to tell you that you need to essentially channel the rift using rune crafting or divination, and then seal anomalies that come out of them. So he's going to give you a little quiz. The first answer is anomalies are bad. The second answer is I can seal anomalies while channeling the rift, which is important. That's how you have to do it. And the next answer is I will need to seal 15 anomalies. So the rift is just to the west. Click channel, which is just the first option, and do that until it reaches 100%. Just like last time. This doesn't take very long, but it's the next part that is the time sink. So Aubrey is going to pop up and talk to you again, and then just channel the energy rift once again. But as the anomalies appear, you're going to want to click on them without clicking off the rift. They appear right around the rift, and they just look like tiny rifts themselves. When you click on them, you get a little dash of XP, and they disperse. So you can see one appears right here, and then another one right after that. And when you disperse them, it just pops up over your head that you've got X out of 15. And just do this until you get 15 out of 15, and then you'll be able to fail the gnome once more. This is sped up quite a bit, and you can see it takes a lot of time. If I didn't speed this up, this would be like a 30-minute video, and I'm not doing that. Alright, so once you've got that done, you're going to want to go to the bank and withdraw 10 rune or 10 pure essence, and take those back to Aubrey. Once you do that, you're going to get a little cutscene again. This time you don't have to do it yourself, but the rift is going to turn into a tornado, essentially, on the gnome and try to bring it to life. Believe it or not, this doesn't work. And you needed to go speak to Orla, who is the next person. So she's got some crappy dialogue. Kind of annoying, really. So just click through it. And then you're going to want to go to the bank and withdraw the 12 raw lobster. Speak to Orla once more, and she's going to tell you need to meet a guy in Alcarid on the Strikeworm Plateau, which is right outside the Cathard Abbey, if you don't know where that is. I'll put it up on the screen here in a second. Boom. So the guy is right there you need to go talk to trade. He's a smuggler from Menaphos. Menaphite smuggler. So I just home teleported to Alcarid, just for the ease. I'm in no rush either here. I got like at least 10 more years to live, I hope. So yeah, once you glitch from the lodestone still not being fixed, boom, you're going to want to run to the Menaphite smuggler. He's over here by this big altar pillar thing. So speak to him and click through this dialogue. Nobody cares about that. And he's going to take the lobsters and give you the pillar. Orla's going to speak to you through her psychicness and then teleport back to the Grand Exchange using the first chat option, yes. Now, once you're back, you're going to want to speak to Orla once more. And this soul altar is a little different than the ones in Menaphos. You do not need food. You can see I grabbed some out of the bank when I start to siphon it, but you don't actually need it. So select siphon on the soul obelisk, and then you can use arrow keys or click the arrows on this little interface on the top left of your screen here to keep it balanced straight up and down. Arrow keys are easier, but I use the mouse just to show you how it's done. Alright, once you've done that, you're going to want to speak to Orla and then choose the first chat option, yes, to use it on the gnome. Lo and behold, this doesn't work. Click through the dialogue, and now you're going to want to go back to Santa and speak to him. Somebody is going to suggest, I believe it's Aubrey, that you go to the Phoenix, and maybe the Phoenix can resurrect Rudolph so that the day is not a total waste. Santa likes that idea, so once the dialogue ends here, you're going to want to talk to Santa once again, and just choose the first chat option, which is yes, to teleport to the Phoenix lair. Now, this part here is the 5-minute cutscene, essentially, where you just click through dialogue. So I'm going to put up on screen that you can skip ahead here. Once you talk to the Phoenix, I'm going to speed up the cutscene because you're just clicking through it where he reanimates Rudolph and tries to reanimate the gnome, essentially. So go to 1505 to skip this. I'm not really going to talk too much through this, so you're not missing anything. I do leave this in just in case somebody wants to see it. Somebody's watching this video not for the purpose of a guide, but just to see what's going on, how cool the event is this year, if they want to do the event this year, stuff like that. That's why I don't just remove this if you're still watching, if you didn't skip. But yeah, this isn't just so I can add more time to my video or something like that. I mean, it's part of the quest. I want to leave it in here just in case somebody somehow messes this up. If you messed up, you really need to take a step back and look at your life and how you messed up just a talking cutscene. But yeah, that's that. Once it doesn't work reanimating the gnome, you're going to get teleported back to the Grand Exchange. And once again, you're going to want to speak to Santa. Click through the dialogue, and it's going to get suggested that rather than doing each one of these things one at a time, they use all three at once, which is just a novel idea. Seems like that should have been done in the first place. But they're going to use all three on the gnome at once. Once again, I've sped this up because it's nothing new, and it's the end of the quest, so we all know what happens. It works. But the gnome gets turned into a real boy. And really, once you get through the dialogue here, that's the end of the quest. If this helped, be sure to leave a like, comment down below, subscribe, all that good stuff. If you want to add me in game, go ahead. You can join the friends chat, LittleDogDog15. I haven't been able to play much as of recently, but I'm gonna get back into the game. I've got more free time now. If you want to know why, you can check out my channel below. It's got more information as to why I haven't been posting videos or anything like that. But yeah, thanks for watching. Peace.